Let's talk getting a job, getting paid for the job, and getting referrals for more jobs. Hi, I'm Ron Paulk, designer of the Paulk Workbench, the Total Station, and the Smart Woodshop. Right now I am working on a YouTube video to put up crown molding in a vaulted room. And because of the videotaping and getting some of the fixtures ready so it'll be very clear in the video, it's taken about 2 days. And so I thought I would take a little break and talk about something totally different. A question that I get asked a lot, and that is about business, the business of construction. First and foremost, business is business. It doesn't matter if it's a restaurant, a financial firm, or a construction business. The rules all apply. So I want to give you just a few tips, and these are based around weaknesses that I see in my industry. There are a lot of very good craftsmen out there that are terrible business people and terrible people. You know what I'm talking about. They grumble, they know what they're doing, but they just aren't, their personality doesn't show through. So that is the first thing, is you want to present yourself well. Dress neat. You don't have to dress up. You can wear jeans or your Carhartts. You can wear a t-shirt, a collared shirt. Just don't have it covered in paint and have holes in it. Take pride in yourself. Take pride in the way you look. Have your hair combed. Just be neat and clean when you present yourself. Number 2, and this is a really big one, answer your phone. And if you don't answer your phone because you're busy, respond to the message. If you get an email, respond to the message. Do it as quickly as possible. And as an absolute rule, don't let the sun set on a phone message or an email or a text that came in during your business working hours. Now, I'm not talking about having to work on weekends or late at night, but anything during business hours, respond during business hours. Don't go home, don't end your day until you've responded to everybody. Next, treat everybody as if they are your most important client, because they are. You might have $1 million custom home going, and somebody has you doing trim, hanging a couple of doors and a little bit of trim in one room. That's just going to be a few $100s to you. When you're with that person, whether it's on the phone or on the email or in person, treat them as if they are your best client, because they are. As you present yourself, that gets relayed to other people. So be focused, be in the moment. Don't be distracted because you've got $1 million job going, you've got trusses coming, you've got a pump truck coming. That's great, that's important. But right now, this is your client. You're talking to them. Treat them with respect their time, and it doesn't matter how small the job is or how small the amount of money is, treat them with respect. So the phone rings, you either return the call or you pick the call up, and you're very busy. You're booked out for 3-4 months, and that's typical in my business. The person on the phone says, "Hi, this is Peter McKinnon, and I have a small job I'd like to know if you have time to take a look at it for me." Now I can just instantly say, "No, I'm booked up through till the fall. I just don't have time to look at anything." That's the wrong answer. What you want to do is be prepared. Let them know that your time is precious. You don't have to hide that. But let them know that the phone call is important. That's why your phone number is listed and you're a contractor and you're answering the phone. In that moment, this is your client. This is your most important client. You haven't met them yet. You don't know what the job is, but this is your most important client, and treat them that way. Write the name down. If you've got a pad by you, quickly write the name down, Peter, because you get to talking and you forget their name. You want to be personable. You want to show them the respect of knowing their name. So you say, "Hi, Peter, what do you have? What kind of work are you talking about?" "Well, I have a master bedroom and we have crown throughout the house and I want to put crown molding up." And I haven't been able to get anybody to call me back, and the few that have just been so far out that, they can't really get to it. And I'm just wondering if you have time. Peter, we are very busy as well. In fact, we are booked out into the fall. But we keep a few days set aside each month for emergency jobs and small jobs, because we know that little projects that can be done in a day or 2 days, it's hard to wait for 6 or 8 months for that. So yeah, I'd be happy to take a look at the job, set up a time to come by and look at it, and then we'll talk about the schedule. So Peter's happy now. I know his name. I've said that I'm really busy, but that I do set aside time for smaller jobs, and I'd be interested in talking with him. So I'm going to collect a little more information. I'm going to say, Peter, what's your address? Okay, that's over in Skyline. Yeah, I'm actually going to be there on Tuesday. Monday is a little busy, and we're just getting ready to go into the weekend here on Friday, and so I don't have time today, and Monday I'm pretty swamped. But Tuesday, I can get over there either first thing before I begin my day, around probably 8 o'clock, and if that's too early, then I can meet you later in the afternoon, say about 4 o'clock. Will either of those times work for you? So you've taken control of your schedule. You're not just being arbitrary. You're letting them know your time's important, but also that you're willing to work and you're somewhat flexible. And so Peter says, hey, let's do it first thing in the morning on Tuesday. That's great. I'll just stay here and go to work a little bit late. Confirm the address, confirm the appointment. I'll see you Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock. Nice talking with you. If anything changes, if you can't hang around, just give me a call ahead of time so I can adjust my schedule. Thanks, Peter. So now I've gotten off the phone. I've put it in my calendar right then. So that's another thing. I don't want to miss appointments. I don't want to be late. I want to be responsible. Then I'm going to probably follow up. I don't always do this, but I'm probably going to follow up on Monday and make a quick phone call to Peter and say, hey, Peter, this is Ron Paulk with Paul Combs. We've got an appointment in the morning. I just want to confirm that that's still going to work with you. Yeah, I'm going to be here. Great. So then I show up at the job and I walk in, and as we've come in, the first thing I've done is take my shoes off. I never go in anybody's house with shoes on, even if they have shoes on, and even if they say, oh, you don't have to take your shoes off. 100% of the times I wear slip-ons, I slip them off, and if I'm gonna go up in an attic or in a crawl space, I'll pick them up and carry them with me, but I don't walk in their house with my shoes on. If I were in boots or lace-ups or something, or if you wear shoes that are hard to take off and on, then invest in a little box of booties, slip on the booties. You're showing respect right up front. I care about your property, I care about your carpet, your tile, and this is the way I work. So you're communicating right up front. You're saying, I am responsible and I'm going to take responsibility when I am working on your home. So I know that he said he's got crown. I show up and it's a vault. He didn't mention that. That's kind of good news for me, and that'll be part of another video. There's probably 1 in 100 finish carpenters that know how to do crown molding in a vault. It's no harder than doing it on a flat ceiling, but a lot of carpenters will say, oh, that looks ugly, or let's run it around level and we'll paint a different color above. That's because they don't know how to do it. It looks beautiful and it's really easy to do, and you get to make a little bit more money for vaults. So the homeowner's going to be happy that you can do it, and you're going to be happy because you get to make a little bit more money for your time. I've come prepared. He told me it was crown, so I brought a few samples so I could give him some options. Also, it's a small job, and I don't want to be running back and forth and spending a lot of time bidding a job. I want to give him a price and put him on the schedule. And that's what Peter wants too. So we go through, we look at the various options, we pick out a crown. In fact, I probably, as the professional, am going to recommend the one that fits best for his architecture. Peter, I noticed when we were coming in, the other crown molding was this colonial crown. You had it in 6-inch and 8-inch. And in this room, I'm going to recommend that we go with the 6-inch. So now I just want to measure up the room really quick and give him a price. I don't need a ladder. I don't need to know what angles are. I just need to know how much material this is going to take. I brought my tape measure just in case, but most of the time I'll just use my digital scale, and I'll walk around the room and take my measurements. By the way, bringing tools like this is very impressive to your clients, and it just instills confidence. You want to be confident and know what you're talking about, but not cocky. So I've gone around the room and I have calculated the lineal footage that I need. I take that number and I add up all of those numbers, and I add, it's a vault, so, and I measure it on the flat, so I know I'm gonna need a little bit more to cover that. Also know that the joints are gonna waste a little bit. So I've added what I normally do in a job like this. Because it's a vault, I've added 20% to the material. And then I took that number, divided it by 16, because all my material comes in 16. And I find that I need 6 pieces. And I know what I pay for it. Now prices, I'll go ahead and give them to you on materials and labor, but remember, the type of material will vary in your area. It'll vary by region, it'll vary by type of material. And also your labor rates may be different than mine, probably will be different. But this is a real world example. So I know that the material, I'm writing all this down. Most of the time I'm doing it on my iPad, but I have a pad here doing it this time. So I've written everything down, and I know that what the material is going to cost me. I know what the other thing I do is count the joints. So the joints really are what's going to take my time, not the lineal footage. So I've counted around and I know there's 13 joints, but I also know there's one run in here that's over 16 feet. So I'm going to have to splice that one. So that's an extra joint. That's 14 joints. So I've got 14 joints and my lineal footage, and so I know what the material is going to cost. It's going to cost me $240, and I know that per joint I charge $20, so there's 14 of them, so $280. And then I also charge per lineal foot, and so I have that, which is $192. And then I have the paint. I know that for my painter to come in and prep and paint, that he charges $3 per foot. And because we ended up being at a little over almost 96 feet, just under 100, so it's $300. So doing my math, and he's seeing me do this, but he's not seeing my numbers. And it came up to $1,012. And that's the labor and materials. Also, I'm in business. I've got insurance, truck, and all that, so I've got my markup. So I've got my markup of 15%. So I come up with $1,164. Whoa, that sounds like a lot of money. Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, you know, working up high ladders, we've got to be really careful. We've got to protect the floor, clean up, and the material. You know, the painter's got to come in. We're gonna come in one day and trim, and we'll be done. We'll come in and start at 8. We'll be done at probably just after lunch, probably around 1 or 2. Our painter will come in near the end of the day, and he will do all the prep. He'll caulk and prep, and then he'll come back the next day and do the paint, and he'll be done by lunchtime. I'll swing in here probably about 10 or 11 on the second day and make sure that everything looks good and clean up, and then we'll be done. So it'll be less than 2 days and we'll be completely out of here. Okay, sounds good. I think I'll go with it. All right, perfect. Well, what I'm gonna do, Peter, is to put you on the schedule, which it looks like I can get here, and I've got my calendar out. I've got my iPhone with my calendar on it. Always have my phone with me, or my tablet, but my phone is always with me. So I've got my calendar. I look at it and I say, yeah, we've got not next week Tuesday, but the following week Tuesday we can do it. So it'll be Tuesday and Wednesday. Give him the dates. He says, fine. Okay, Peter, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to email you a one-page contract, just spelling out everything we've talked about and the date we're going to do it. And if you'll respond to that email, that will be, you know, sign it, digitally sign it, and respond to it. And then with that, you'll be able to make a deposit. We require 50% deposit, and you can make that deposit. Once that comes through, I'll put it on the schedule and confirm it. We don't confirm schedules until the deposit's made. Once the job is done, the day the job is done, we require the balance of the payment. Is that good with you? That sounds fine to me. So I'm very clear. I'm very clear about how much it's going to cost, how long it's going to take, when I'm going to do it, and how I expect to get paid. So there's no ambiguity, nothing for Peter to later on say, well, I didn't realize I had to pay. I thought I'd have 30 days. We're clear right up front. He's agreed to it. He's going to agree to it. I've got a one-page contract for this kind of work. It's a template, and it's just something I made in a Word document. And I'll thank Peter for his time and say, you'll get the email within an hour. And I'll say goodbye and I'll leave. I'll go out to my car, I'll leave his property, and immediately I'll pull over and I will complete the contract on my tablet or on my computer or even on my phone. And, you know, it's lineal footage of crown, the type of crown. I've got his name, his phone number, his mailing address, which is most of the time the same, but I put a job address and a mailing address separately. Typical stuff, because maybe he's living somewhere else, maybe he's got a different mailing address for bills, whatever. I've also got his email, because that's how we're going to deal with this. And I fill it out, and boom, I send it off. And I told him an hour. He's got it 15 minutes later. So now I've promised that I'm going to get something to him within an hour, and he's got it within 15 minutes. That's a good start. Always under promise and over deliver. If I say that it's going to take me 2 days and I'm done in a day and a half, that's great. It's terrible if I'm into that third day, 2.5 days. One, it's not good for my bottom line, and two, I haven't kept my promise. So remember, build yourself in a little bit of time, under promise. Don't be crazy about it and say, oh, it's going to take 6 weeks and it takes 1 day. But I mean, give yourself some margin. So a few days before the job, maybe a week to 5 days during the work week, contact Peter via email or with a quick phone call and say, I just want to confirm we're coming on this day. We've got the material and we'll be there about 8 o'clock. Fine, everything's good. Show up at 8 o'clock. Be there 5-10 minutes early. So all of those things are so typical and so common sense, and the only way I run my business. You have impressed Peter, you've responded to Peter, you've made time for Peter, you've been very clear, and then you're going to follow through and do all of that. And what that's going to do for you is, if Peter knows anybody who needs anything done, you are going to be the only person that Peter's going to refer. In fact, he's going to go out of his way to say, I had this really done. Man, you know, if you ever get anything done, make sure you call this guy. And give, you know, at the end, you'll give him some of your cards so he can hand them out to his friends. Also, if Peter ever wants to build a house or do an addition or anything bigger, you're the guy that Peter's going to call, or gal, because this applies to any business owner, any contractor. Treating your customer with respect, letting them know exactly what's going to happen, and then following through and keeping your word. You will get paid, and you will get referrals. So I know a lot of this was simple and common sense, but I get hundreds of emails about, I'm trying to start my business and I don't really know how to do this, and thinking that contracting is different than anything else. Doing the work, you want to be a good worker, you want to do good work, you want to be clean, that's all part of it. But really, that's about 10%. 90% of it is how you present yourself and how you follow through, answering your phone, keeping your schedule, keeping your word. Well, I hope this helps. Look forward to the video on how to crown a vaulted room. It really is pretty easy. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Have a great day.